now we're going to talk a bit about the physical and cognitive symptoms that we might experience with social anxiety. I'm just going to start with the physical symptoms first. Some of the sensations or anxiety symptoms that you might start noticing or experiencing would be blushing or shaking. You might notice that your heart rate might be increased, sweating or feeling a bit dizzy. Your breath might feel shorter, or you might feel a bit nausea in your stomach. You might notice that your voice might be trembling or feeling a bit disorientated with in your environment. Or you might start having this ringing in your ear, hearing ringing in your ear, and experiencing this lump in your throat, or having a dry mouth that make it a bit difficult to talk. So you might experience any of those symptoms, or maybe some symptoms that I haven't mentioned here. And these symptoms can also reach sometimes a full-blown panic attack. When we start experiencing these symptoms, often they're also accompanied with some behavior symptoms, and one of the main ones is avoiding situations that would produce symptoms like that, because they're quite unpleasant. Or we can't avoid situations. We might find ourselves having to drink some alcohol in order to cope, in order to alleviate some of the anxiety symptoms that we might experience, or having a tendency of wanting to leave or escape situations once we start experiencing anxiety. We also have what we call some safety behaviours. And safety behaviours are usually employed in different levels of when we're experiencing social anxiety. Downside of the safety behaviours is that a lot of times they can perpetuate the belief about what we think will happen, or the bad thing that we expect to happen when we start feeling anxious. And a lot of times they could also increase our symptoms of anxiety. But we tend to employ them because we feel as if they're helping us to cope within those situations. But a lot of times we'll find out that these safety behaviors can also contaminate the social situation and can increase the attention that we have towards ourselves, and increase our self-monitoring the symptoms that we're experiencing. They can also draw our attention to ourselves more, and that could also lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy. And a lot of times can confirm the fears that we have. So sometimes we do have the safety behaviors to avoid situations from happening, but they actually can help lead us to those situations that we're actually trying to avoid. Some of the cognitive symptoms that we might experience is having negative thoughts in situations and social situations, and worrying about what we'll do or say, that what we do or say might embarrass us or humiliate us, and that other people might notice our anxiety. And a lot of times we tend to look at social situations as dangerous, and we have this fear that we'll act in a foolish or embarrassing way, and that would lead to bad results for us, have bad or catastrophic consequences in terms of our social status or what we think about ourselves. They might also lead to some rejection or feeling humiliated in situations. But we also have a tendency a lot of the times to have to magnify others' social ability, and we tend to see ourselves more negatively in comparison to others.